I want to begin this brief time that we have together with a sincere thank you to this campus and to our online campus for two reasons. One, because if you start off with a thank you, you might not be as mad at me if I mess this whole thing up. Two, though, is because this is genuine. This is sincere. Lifehouse, my dearest online and Hub City campus, I want to thank you for embracing something that's always been important to me. It's obviously, I hope it's been made obvious that I have a strong connection to and a deep passion for hip-hop culture and music. You've seen that, I hope, by noticing maybe a song I've done or a moment or even the way that I do my sermons. And I want to thank you because all I've ever wanted to do here is what I hope you do is bring my most authentic self before God and before you, and that way serve you the best that I can. But here's why I'm thanking you. It's because I know that isn't everyone's particular style or taste. And so if you've embraced it, even though it's not your taste, that means you have willingly chosen to put kingdom purpose over culture preference. And that is so big. It's so big. And as much as I want to give the thank you because I'm appreciative, thankful for what it means to the church. Because whenever the gathering of the church comes together and we are all able to put kingdom purpose over culture preference, you know what we look like? We start to look a lot like the church that John saw in the future in Revelation where he says, I saw a multitude of people from every nation and tribe and tongue and language and music genre and style gathered before the Lamb. And man, I'm so proud to be a part of a church that looks a lot like what our destination is anyway. Now, I needed to give that thank you because I truly believe, as I touch on it briefly a little bit, I truly believe that as a child, like 7, 8 years old, my connection to this culture is a familiar journey to all of us. Okay, sure, maybe your destination was different. Your destination may not have included the influences of Biggie Smalls and Wu-Tang. That may not have been for you. That was for me. But what I mean is that the drive, the destination may have been different, but the drive for all of us was the same. Whenever we're driven to whatever we're driven to be connected to as we grow, we are in search of something. As we're on that path, we are in search of our significance. I would not have described my life as a child, as a tween, as a teen. I would not have used the word confident to describe myself. Those around may have thought different, but I'll explain why. I would not have thought about that as for myself. I always felt smaller, overlooked. I did not feel like I would be the one picked by the kickball captain. Everybody else's sneakers were better than mine until now. Some things change. I remember like when I tried baseball, which is not my game, like all of the other kids that I was friends with being in Little League, and I was still like in minor league with the little kid and striking out. Like this is not, just feeling, and then this is unique for me. Like, and then growing up biracial, you sometimes get this sense that you feel like you're the other color when you're in one setting, and then it flip-flops when you're in the other, and you always feel like you're just like you're the oddball out. Like, man, what a great complex I, you know what I mean? Like, look what it did for me. Like, I just kind of grew up not feeling important. And I'm not sharing all that personally so that, like, I can make this about me. I just feel like since I'm the one with the microphone, I need to be the one in the room who says, I'll go first. And share that, man, every single one of us as an individual just want to matter. We just want to matter. But if we're honest, and if your applause is telling anything, we go through life feeling like we are anything but. I mean, we just want to find this place in this world where we feel important. If we could just be important to one other person. Besides you, Mom, we know we're the best. And that's why we're going to celebrate you in 2 weeks at Limitless Weekend. We love you. Thank you so much for thinking that we're number one. And I love Limitless for that name of that ministry, but limited is how you feel whenever you look at your life and you think that it is insignificant. Might as well be invisible to the world around you. This is why I was drawing you guys to something like hip-hop. Now, I did love the art. I loved seeing people spin on their heads, and I liked rhymes and music and artwork, and I tried all of those things too. And I started off with breakdance, and I let that go, and I moved on over to the microphone, which I think was the right decision, because it's even helped me in places like this. Besides, there comes a certain age that if you still breakdance, it will actually break you. It is the fastest way to go from hip-hop to hip replacement, and I ain't got time for that. I preach a lot better up here without assistants walking. But what I thought I saw as I watched either teens or young adults who were older than me, and I saw this swag and just this presence that everything they say must be true, like, that looked like confidence to me, and I wanted it, I needed it. I wanted it so bad. And I thought that that's what I was seeing, but if you know anything about self-confidence, I hope you already know this, and I'm not the one that's delivering the bad news, but confidence, that cannot be written for you in a song. It cannot be produced in the studio. It cannot be created in a music video. True confidence in who you are only comes from knowing and believing your significance that already exists, your significance that you already have in God, and I didn't have that understanding. I had God. I had Jesus since I was 6 years old, but I didn't know what I had in him. I didn't know the significance I had, and whenever you don't know the significance that you already have, you will placehold it with something else. So for me, hip-hop is the art of the brag. It's the art of making a billboard about yourself and then wearing it on the biggest chain you can possibly purchase. And then if you can make it all rhyme, oh, it's believable. Allow me to demonstrate. What's up, Dennis? Dennis, I don't mean to brag and I don't mean to boast, but bro, you are hot butter on breakfast toast. Ain't that right, Amanda? You guys don't even know who Dennis is, and you believe me. That's what I need in my life. Just let me brag about something with a rhyme, and I can make my own life. That's what I thought was there. Guys, I grew up searching for significance, and I was placeholding confidence with arrogance. Because that is the brushstroke of choice in hip-hop. When you don't know your importance, you will placehold your importance with an imposter that you're trying to make everybody else around you believe is real. When your significance hasn't told you that you actually have a real future, you will placehold that future with a facade. And it will trap you in and lie to you every day. And deep inside, all we're still longing for is to be great. We don't want to be average. We don't want to be below average. Just the best person we can be. We want to be great in some way, and that somebody notices it or appreciates it. Jesus is somebody great. We know that. That's a given. That's why we're here. We think he's pretty great. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. Jesus. Jesus was a great storyteller. In this series, what we're going to look at is Jesus' stories. And Jesus' stories were awesome, but they were so important because parables are basically how Jesus, he brought to us heaven's values through earth's venues, so that we could connect with them and see ourselves in them. And in a short story, I don't think it's any coincidence that this was a short parable because of what he talks about in this parable. In the short story in Matthew 13, he teaches one. Matthew 13, 31 through 32, he says this. He told them another parable. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. Mustard on that beat. That's hip-hop if that went over anybody's head. I'll always explain myself. Which a man took and planted in his field. And though it's the smallest, the invisible, the insignificant, though it's the smallest of all the seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of the garden plants. I mean, it becomes a tree birds come and perch in its branches. Why did Jesus pick the mustard seed? We know that everything as a seed grows into something else bigger, but there are some seeds that are actually awesome as seeds. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Those bad boys get roasted and seasoned with barbecue sauce, ranch. They get packaged. They're a hot product. Did you know that there's actually positions in the MLB that people have to clean up the spit out sunflower seeds from the guys in the outfield? Like, the sunflower seeds did that. They created a position in baseball. Like, look, even some other small seeds. When McDonald's entices you by saying 2 all-beef patties, lettuce, cheese, onion, special sauce, they say it's all on a what? Even this little guy's getting some love as a seed. The mustard seed? It's a dot, period. It might as well be invisible, it's so tiny. And yet this is the story that Jesus picks to be the main character in his story. Why did he pick it? He picked it because of all seeds grow into something. And even like a sunflower seed, it goes into a sunflower, they're big. Pumpkin seeds, they grow into something else too, but just they're on a vine. But the mustard seed, its result is disproportionately so much greater than its start. And that's why he picked it, because God, just like we sang in that song, Fire Freedom, God loves to take the tiny and turn it into the towering. He loves to take the invisible and turn it into the undeniable. Why does he like to do that? I don't know. Other than maybe he just wants to do miraculous things. He is the way maker and the... Thank you. I know that song because we haven't sang it in a while, but that first service didn't get it either. Maybe we should sing it. I thought you guys would have broken into worship if I said way maker. When I say way maker, you say miracle. I thought we would have tore it up in here, but you guys forgot about that song. But he is just that. He's the miracle worker. Maybe that's why he loves to work with the insignificant, because it makes his work undeniable. Jesus also picked the mustard seed because Jesus was a mustard seed. In this story, he says that the kingdom of heaven is a mustard seed. Jesus was not born into a royal family. His family didn't have a shared Instagram page, and if they did, it's got like 37 followers. Those are his dad's carpentry clients. Jesus grew up in a blue-collar household. They even dissed where he came from. They would say things like, can anything good come from Nazareth? You know why that verse means something to me, y'all? Because you know who else they say stuff like that about? Us. You want that sermon right now? No, you don't want that sermon. But Jesus, he shrunk his life down into something meaningless until his ministry began. He was a mustard seed. So if you can relate it all to a life of insignificance, feeling small, worthless, invisible to the world around you, if our life looks a lot like how Jesus started off, maybe we're not doing so bad. This is how God feels about the small things. In Zechariah 4:10, he says, don't despise these small beginnings. Don't despise the small. I love to see the work begin, the Lord says. He loves to see the seed planted because he knows that there's a future for it. The series is called Your Future. The future is. And then we don't tell you in the title what it is. We're going to tell you every week what your future is, but I can tell you this about your future, no matter your age. You want to know the best part about your future's first day? It is always today. Every day is the first day of your future. His mercies are new every morning. And I can tell you this as well. The future that God sees for you is always great. Always. You can't come from a great God and not have a great future ahead of you. But your future greatness comes from your current humility. Look at the story of the mustard seed. The tree, the seed. Undeniable, invisible. Your future greatness comes from your current humility right now. This is why Jesus chose the mustard seed. He chose it because of its humility. The mustard seed knows he's not one of the other guys. He's not a pumpkin seed. He's not a sunflower seed. He's not going to be hanging out in the glorious snack section of the gas station like those guys. No, but he knows in the soil that God is growing something great through its humility. Jesus said this way in Matthew 23, he said, look, if you want to be the greatest, you must become, somebody yell it out, the least, a servant. But the greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled. Oh, but if you flip it, those who humble themselves, those who embrace the mustard seed of their life, they will be exalted. See, it was through hip-hop, you guys, I was trying to exalt myself. Particularly because that was the art. That's what you did. But I was getting more out of it for myself. I was trying to find and manufacture this significance and this confidence. Because everything in this culture was telling me that big is best. And that grand is great. And that pride is power. But humility is an acceptance and a choice to be small. In other words, to be humble, sit down. See, this is what we don't understand about humility. We have a fear of it because we feel the very thing that we're trying to reach for will be taken from us. No. Humility doesn't mean we lose our value. It just means we lower our visibility. It ain't about us. It's about them. Humility doesn't mean we lose our equity. We lose our ego, though. And humility does not mean humility does not mean that we are subtracting our significance. No. But humility does mean that we are surrendering our search for that significance. Humility is surrendering our search for significance. If you are still searching for your importance and your significance, you either do not know, don't understand like I didn't, or don't believe in the significance that you already have from God. When Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is a mustard seed, he was talking about himself first and foremost. Because I would say that being the son of a deity would give you a pretty high key status, some notoriety, some VIP privileges, and he set all of that aside and downgraded to a mustard seed life of common invisibility. He lived a seemingly meaningless life up until the point that he started his ministry. So he starts. Now he's got a following, and he's telling stories, and there's teachings, and there's doing miracles. And just when it looks like he's at the mustard tree peak of his life, he dies on a tree. Now all the stories and all the teachings and all the miracles now come to life because Jesus came to death on a wooden cross. Jesus had to come to death on our behalf. You know the reason why we spin out of control looking for our significance is because we have been lost and separated from our source. From the moment that we're born, we are separated from our relationship with God, and Jesus said, not on my watch. And so when he came and downgraded from a deity to a deity wrapped in human life to be invisible among one of us, when he went to the cross and died, it was to forgive us of those sins, forgive us of the sin of searching for significance elsewhere, to forgive us of that, bring us back to God. Man. And then, like we celebrated last week, God does this little thing, like brings him back to life. After the price is paid, and if that shouldn't have been enough, God brings him back to life because he knows that our future in believing in Jesus means that we get to be the kingdom of heaven, the mustard tree. He knew that the mustard tree, the kingdom of heaven, was our future. The kingdom of God was our future. And what do we know about our future? It starts today, right now. And so whenever we place our faith and our belief in the life, the death, the burial, the resurrection of Jesus, we now have an admission to the kingdom of heaven and an adoption into the family of God. Not bad for a mustard seed swap. Listen to me. If the Son of God, willingly laying down his life for you, does not right now give you a significance, then nothing is ever going to. Nothing. But if we humble ourselves, if we mustard seed and we receive that from Jesus, watch out, world. Jesus is the mustard seed of the kingdom so that we could be the mustard tree. He's the first step in the kingdom of heaven coming to life. The kingdom of heaven starting right now is you, the church. You are the kingdom of heaven here and present. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The church is the kingdom of heaven right now. And Jesus, more importantly than me wanting you to know your significance in the kingdom, I want you to know the significance of the kingdom that you're in. Jesus was intentional about picking the mustard tree as his example. You know, a mustard tree can survive harsh conditions. It can thrive in desert-like conditions. The mustard tree, that is the church, has survived persecution and attack from the time it was a seedling, and yet 2,000 years later, here you are. We still here, like a mustard tree. Jesus said that the mustard tree grows to be one of the largest in the gardens. It can grow up to 20 feet in a short period of time, the largest. To this day, do you know what man has the largest following on this planet? I'll give you a hint. His name starts with Jesus and ends with Jesus the Christ. That's right. Jesus is the largest following on this earth today. Christianity makes up 2/3 of the world's population. The Bible has been translated and sold more than any other book. That's mustard tree status right there. The mustard tree's ingredients have been used and studied to find out how I can help become medicine against disease. Today, the church, you are the healing power of the great hands of the great physician. And the way that we pray and the missions that we give to and the organizations that serve in health, we are that expression of the great physician. I'll end with this one. I like this one a lot. The mustard seed, its oil is used to enhance hair and skincare products. That's right, the mustard tree is used for beauty. Take a look around just this room and tell me that the church ain't the most beautiful gathering of people all over the world. That's your kingdom. That's the church. Trying to pour my heart into this one today, you guys, because I know personally that there is no greater soil, no greater garden soil for you to plant your purpose than in the soil of the kingdom of heaven. I didn't understand the significance that I had, and when I finally did, God said, Spence, I think your rhymes are all right, little bro. Matter of fact, I got something better for you to brag about. And that's when I decided it was time for me to commit what I loved to the God that I love. And anything that I can even take credit for, or even look like anything like credit for, I owe to God, and specifically through the church. He's pretty good at taking what you love and growing it into something you could not do if you held on to it with your own hands. See, when you do that, you're not just being a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. You're becoming an active citizen in the kingdom of heaven. And when you do that, your future, here you go, your future is growing. And your future is growing where the kingdom is going. You're making kingdom moves. Now you're really growing. Now you're growing beyond what you could do on your own power. Unexplainable. Now there's miraculous power behind who you are and what you do and what you bring. I love how it says in Proverbs. Proverbs is one of my favorite books. And in Proverbs 16:3, it says, look, if you commit to the Lord what you do, whatever you do, he will establish your plans. Commit it. Jesus says it like this in Matthew 6:33, seek first. Seek first the kingdom of God. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. And then all these things, they'll be given to you as well. What does that look like? What is a life being an active citizen of the kingdom of heaven right now in the citizen space where we live in our cities and counties and towns? What does that look like to be a citizen of heaven right now? What does it look like to seek the kingdom and its purposes in right what you do right now? This is Michelle on the keys, and you guys recognize Michelle. She normally leads worship too. She's helping with the worship team. Michelle's a teacher, and I asked her if I could share something that she shared in a leadership meeting one time, because I think it is this to a T. I think this is seeking the kingdom, committing whatever we do to the Lord. And it's just one example, but she's a teacher, and there's a bunch of teachers in here, I know. How can a teacher commit what they do to the Lord? How can a teacher seek first the kingdom of what they do? Well, one, you could actually serve in a Christian school, and many of our teachers here do that. And man, do we need that. We need schools totally in line with the will of God. But we also need teachers who are willing to go behind enemy lines. That's probably what it feels like for them in this day and age. We love our schools, but that's what Michelle teaches. Michelle teaches in public school system. And although she would never do anything to compromise her job, she ain't going to compromise the kingdom either. And that means nothing can stop her from praying for each and every one of her kids. That means she's not breaking any rules. If she's playing instrumental music in her class to set the tone, she don't need to tell anybody that's instrumental worship music. Setting the tone that God is in this place. Put my kids in that classroom. What's yours? Come on, how can you do it? How can you activate kingdom purpose right where you are at right now? I'm not telling you to stand up on the tables at where you work and be a zealot. That will get you fired. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you, if it's your desire to seek how you can live out kingdom purpose in your job, in your calling, in your education, wherever, God's going to give it to you. He will show you. Nobody's more clever than him. He'll give you the avenue. Everyone has a place in the kingdom of heaven, which means everyone has a purpose in the church right now. As we celebrate Lifehouse's 20 years, I look back over I think it's like 15, 16 years I've been a part of it, and I reflect back on one of the reasons why I decided on this church, because I felt like I could truly bring who I was and it would have value and appreciation. I hope all of you feel that way, and if you don't, you better hit me up, and we're going to talk about it, because we're going to find your place. Everybody belongs in the kingdom, and everybody has something to do in the church. How are you serving? What group were you a part of? What do you give to? What mission trip have you been waiting to take? The longer you wait, the more of a significant life you are putting on hold. Some of you, I prayed about this part right here. Some of you today, as you hear this, and we're talking about dedicating, seeking first the kingdom, being an active kingdom citizen right now. Some of you here, some of you online, I don't care if it's one of you, somebody for some time has been hearing something faintly in the distance. Something that sounds like their name being called. And what you're waiting on is just like some moment of clarity where you can hear that it is your name being called. It's not my job today to call your name, but it is my job today to say, now is your moment of clarity. Yes, God is absolutely calling you. It's not a dream. He is calling you. He's calling you to step up and live a life devoted to the kingdom and serving in ministry. Specifically in here, there is a church planner. There's a missionary online. There's a ministry beginner leader in here somewhere. And yes, you absolutely are hearing God, and you need to say the most important word of your life. Okay, God, yes. You need to do it today. And some of you might not even realize that your church has got your back. We have a leadership college here. We have a ministry school here where we equip people to get ready to serve in ministries, to plant churches, to build ministries, to serve in churches. We have a school for that. We got your back. Take the first step. Today, Pastor Kurt will be out at Next Steps, and the TV he will be in front of will have that logo, the Leadership College. Let me say it one more time. Yes, it is God calling you. It absolutely is God calling you, and he knows who he's calling. It's you. You got it. Go do it. He's calling you. Look, I know that's a big thing, so you just might want to pray about that. As we finish up here, our prayer team is going to be on the sides of the room. They're going to head there right now. That is absolutely something that you need to pray about. God, what is my purpose in your kingdom? What is my calling within the church? Man, he can't wait to answer that prayer. Pray about it with somebody today, and then take the next step. Listen, all of this only comes all together. All of this kingdom purpose, it all starts with a kingdom relationship with Jesus. Your significance is in his sacrifice. Your confidence is in his crucifixion. Your importance is in his impalement, and your relevance in this world is in his resurrection. And it's waiting for you. If you've never had the moment where you express to Jesus that you believe and want to receive his gift of forgiveness and life now and forever in the kingdom of heaven, right now is your moment. And here's all you need to say. God is inviting you. He's asking you, do you want it? Right now, you can sign it. You can say it, but say it with your heart. Yes. Right now, say yes. Yes, Jesus. And I hope that response seems way too small in comparison to the grand reward. Exactly. And that's exactly why Jesus said the amount of faith we need in him is the size of a seed. Not a pumpkin seed, not a sunflower seed, a seed of mustard. That's it. That much. If you got that much belief in you in Jesus today, welcome home. That seed is ready to grow into a tree of life with Jesus. And your church is here to help. So please let me know that you made that decision today. Scan the QR code that's on the screen. It's also on the chairs in front of you. Please tell me you said yes to Jesus today so I can call you and we're going to get this thing started. The only thing that we don't have enough time to talk about today is how does God do this? How does he take this meager and turn it into magnificent? What is happening in the spiritual soil? We don't know. All we know is that God always provides you the seed. He provides the soil. He provides the sun. He provides the rain, and you become something amazing that you couldn't have done on your own.